Welcome back to another episode of Volunteer Garage. I'm Jay. We are actually, today I got a lot of stuff to do, but right now I am actually at I'm at a parking garage. I'm picking up medications for my son. I had to drive all the way. Our pharmacy for my son's 45 minutes away from where I live, but it's what we gotta do for insurance, right? So I'm going to get out of here and head on home, and we got a lot of stuff to do today. Well, I just dropped off my son's medicines. We're back. I got a lot of stuff to do today. I'm not going to be able to film anything else, but other than today, I got a lot of stuff to do this weekend. Tomorrow's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to you fathers out there. And yeah, so we're going to start on all this stuff. I got parts in the mail this week. We're going to work on my engine some, get some of that stuff done. I got to change oil in Marissa's car, wherever I parked it, right there. I gotta get oil change done in that, and also I'm gonna put my clutch master on my 4Runner. So I think I might start with my 4Runner first. We'll get the clutch master put on it, get that bled, and then I'll swap over to Marissa's 4Runner, change oil in it, rotate the tires, and then we're gonna jump in on my engine, get what I can done on that. I got some parts in there, like I said, this week. I got a stinger for my new exhaust coming. It's just something I can swap out because it's a 3 bolt. My one I have over there isn't, so but I can swap out with this one. I'm gonna get a baffle for it. I don't have a baffle in it, so, and I'm gonna fix some stuff in there. I don't like that big turn right there. I'm gonna grind that down and work on that a little bit, but hey, for 20 bucks can't really beat it. Or 20, I think it's $25. Got an oil filter obviously from Marissa's car, got that from work. Got my clutch master, had that for a little bit though, but got a clutch in for my Volkswagen, a 2110 engine. I got their stage 1 pressure plate, and I got a cushion lock disc, and let's see, I got this today, or this last week too, the alignment tool and everything, and bolts, and I got my throwout bearing. I went ahead and got a brand new alternator generator pulley for it. Let's see what else. I got my fan install kit, and I got shims for my tin. So that'll line up a little bit better. And also, going against what I said last video, I got oil filters from work. This is our bulk brand oil filter we run. But I ended up getting AN fittings for my engine. Well, this one's not going to run on there, but I just stuck it on there. I got these. I had Summit Bucks, so I went with some Summit brand AN fittings. So this is what it's going to be for my oil cooler, or my oil filter. I mean, that's what I'm going to be running for it. So I went up with that. I was hoping I was going to get lucky, and I had some of this hose left over from another project a long time ago on something I had, and I was hoping I was going to get lucky because it's a -8 as well, but it's cushion lock hose, so cushion lock or whatever you call it hose, and it won't fit on those. 4Runner is pulled in here, so what I'm going to do first, I'm going to use this light here so you can see because it's dark in here underneath this hood. I'm going to take my little vacuum pump, I'm going to suck out all the brake fluid out of this reservoir, and on the inside of the truck, I'm going to crawl in there on the inside. Here's my new one. Right here on the end right here, there's a little pin that slides through there and has a little spring, has a return spring on it, and I'm going to slide that out. So I can do, it's really easy, just a little pin with a return spring. Take that out and you can slide it out. And I'm going to take these 2 bolts loose, and I'm going to take that brake line loose real quick, and we'll slide this unit out, and I'll show you the most common problem on these things that leaks, which I'm sure most of you have already seen this before. Here's the pin that I was talking about inside the truck that you got to remove. There's a little push pin that latches in a little hole right there, and then you have a spring a helper spring or whatever right here. But I got it out, as you can see. The only scourging part is look at all the rust right there. I want to spray some. I'm gonna spray some rust kill on there and kill all that out and clean all that really good, and then hit it with some rust cleaner or rust kill. But here's the most common part or problem, leak you'll see on these things. Here's my old one. I think it's an Asian brand. I don't know. I've had this truck since 2004. I've never had to replace the clutch master on it. It's my first time doing it on this truck. But where it's leaking at is right here. You can see all the, right in there. This is inside the truck right here, obviously. You can see all the brake fluid all in that right here. It's just been dripping into the floorboard. So here's my new one. What I'm going to do before I install it is I'm going to match the length as best I can to this one, so I'm not having to adjust the pedal so much, because you got to adjust the pedal so you have just a little bit of play. While that rust kill's drying, I'm going to work on installing my clutch here. One thing you need to do before you put a clutch on, that I've learned, is take you some grease and put it in here on these needle bearings on your glant nut, because they are just dry anyway. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then we're going to slide my clutch disc on, which is right here. We'll get my clutch disc put on and take my pressure plate and put it on there, and I got my new bolts right here. We'll get those torqued down. When clutch is in, it's torqued down. I torqued it down to 30 foot-pounds on the little bolts. I just went around a crisscross pattern, and I got them all torqued down. It's ready to go. So we'll move on to something else on here, probably the cooling. I'm going to probably work on getting my fan and my alternator installed. So I got my clutch put on, as you've seen. So now I'm working on my alternator. I got my alternator. I got my part of my pulley put on there already. I forgot I had this pulley, but I'm not going to run it because it's black. I'm going to try to break it up a little bit. I don't have too much black on here. So I got that one just kind of stuck on there for the time being, but I'm going to try to put these back tins on the back of the alternator here. The little ridge, it faces out, so we'll get that slid on first, just like that. And we'll put this little spacer on. Then this goes on next, just like that, facing out. Next, I'll take my nuts and we'll put them on here. We'll get it all, well, I'll probably have two hands for this. No, maybe not. There we go. We'll get my nuts put on here. We'll get those tightened down, and then we'll work on getting the fan, whatever I did with it. Oh, it's over in front of the engine. I'll get the fan put on next. I've been down here messing with this stupid alternator for a little while, trying to get all this together. I had to take apart my old one off, my old generator and stuff off my other engine, only to get this put together because this brand new piece of tin is bent. Because I kept wondering why real quick. I'll show you. See right there, the scratch right there, and then the other one right in here, if you can see it right there, it started rubbing, but it's really bent right here really bad. And I kept wondering, I was like, why does this fan keep hitting this? So then I got it all spaced out and everything, and then I spun it really good, and you can see how wobbly it is. Kind of shook the alternator. See if I can hold this like this. See the wobbly little piece of crap. I got it shimmed out pretty far away from the housing, so I decided I'm not going to use this fan because I mean you can feel it inside the alternator as it's spinning how it's doing this. I can just only imagine if I put it inside here what a piece of crap it's going to be rubbing. I don't know. I'm just not going to use it. I'm going to use the factory fan I had on here. This is my fix for it. I cleaned it up with some soap and water out here, and I hit it with some paint. So while that fan is drying, I decided I'm going to go ahead and start putting my 4Runner back together. I got it painted inside here. I hit it with some rust kill, but you're supposed to let it sit for 24 hours, but it sat for 2 hours, so good enough for me. Then I hit it with some black paint. So now we're going to put this back together. I got the new clutch master right here. I'm going to kind of bench bleed it a little bit to help me out as much as I can right here while I'm installing, because I've had problems out of these before installing and getting it bled through the slave. So I'm going to bench bleed it a little bit, and then we'll get it put on. Well, I got the clutch master put back in. I just got to go inside the car and hook the pedal up and adjust that, and then we got to bleed it, and hopefully this thing will have a clutch again, or a clutch master that doesn't dump out fluid. Clutch is bled on the 4Runner, drives great. I got my dad to help me do it real quick, but drives great. I took it on a quick test drive. Perfect. So now we're moving on to Marissa's 4Runner. I got to change oil in. I'm not really going to do a video, but I'm going to show you guys on the TRD Pro skid plate. I'm going to fix something on it that I hate. It's a pain in the butt to do every time, but I'm going to do a quick oil change. I was going to rotate the tires on it. The tires are getting kind of worn, and these things are chopped up on the front and the rear. You go down the road, it's like wah, 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 wah. She needs new tires, so I'm going to tell her that. Got the skid plate off. This is the TRD Pro skid plate that you get with the package of the car. This is my problem with this skid plate that I hate, that I don't really like. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Here we go. When you're putting it on, you get these little spacers, but every time you take it off, the spacers fall off. Let me flip it over. This thing's not light either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue them in place right here. Hopefully that should solve my issue. Because every time you take this thing off, you have these spacers in the front, and they always fall off. And you got to hold them in place while you're putting it back together. It's pain in the rear, so I'm gluing them babies on there. Glued the spacers on the skid plate. I put the bolts in there to keep them centered. So all I got to do now is put the filter in, and I'll put the skid plate back on, I'll fill it up with oil, and she should be good to go for another 5,000 miles. 400 oil change is done. It's ready to go. Dude man just showed up. He's over there digging. I'm not gonna bother him. So I got that done. I gotta put my forwarder in, and I got my fan painted. I'm gonna let it cure for a couple days down here, get that good and dried out, because it's still just tacky. So next time, probably the next video you see down here, we'll be working on alternator, getting that stuff figured out. So, but anyway, I gotta head home. Marissa needs her car so she can get to work. So I got something to show you guys at home. Well, it's bright and early on Thursday. I know I was going to bring the camera home this past Saturday, but man, I was busy. I had a lot of stuff. I came home to have a lot of stuff to do when I got home, and then of course Sunday was Father's Day. Monday I was out of town, and then started a work week. But this morning I have some few extra moments to myself. It's a little after 7. It's pouring down rain. We're getting rain from that tropical storm, and the gutter is clogged up, as I can see. Not good, but anyway, I want to fix something though. I told you guys wrong on my alternator or generator. This is the old backing plate. The new ones you get nowadays, it has a hole in the bottom of it, and that's for a little grommet piece that holds a spark plug wire separator. So that goes on the bottom. I had mine up on the top. I don't know why I did that, but this one, obviously, this is my old tin. It didn't have one. And then, I was a little loud. And then as for this tin, this piece right here with the little vent, it goes down, not up. I don't know, mine came up out of my old generator, so I just assumed it went up, because I've never been in that engine, and I don't know if anybody else has. So that goes down, cools down like that. So just a little mistake I'm correcting for you guys. I hate giving people wrong information. But I got my exhaust in, as you can see. I already painted this. I got this Monday, and I painted just this header collector Tuesday, just the grill paint, doing a test run, see how well it turned out, and turned out pretty good. So I'm going to paint the rest of this. Here's the muffler. It's a turbo muffler. This is made by Tri-Mill, I think's what the name of the company is right there. It's like 200 bucks, a little over 200 bucks shipped to me. That's good enough for me. It's not a daily driver. I wish it was stainless, but I can't afford stainless. Like I've said in all my videos, I've blown the budget a little bit. So, but anyway, so I got a turbo style muffler, and if I want to switch it over, I can take this off and swap and put on a my Stinger I got. So not a big deal to me. But anyway, we're going to start with painting these pieces. That's how I did this piece right here. I'm going to take some wax and grease remover, and I'm going to wipe off all the coating on this tubing to keep it from rusting. And I got some carburetor cleaner I spray inside the tubing to clean out as much of that as I can. And then I will take some Scotch-Brite, like this right here, and I'll go over the whole outside of the tube to give it some adhesion, some scratches so it adheres. Then I'll take wax and grease remover again and wipe it right off again, and then I'll let it dry, and then I'll paint it. Like what I did to this one, I even painted the inside of it. They do everything I can to keep it from rusting, because this is steel, and it will rust like everything else. So I'm going to clean up these two pieces. I'm going to show you guys these two pieces, and then the rest of this I'm probably just going to do on my own. I've got them, I waxed and grease removed them, I scuffed them up, and then I waxed and grease removed them again. You're probably asking yourself, why does he wax or grease remove them first? Because there's that coating that comes on these things, and I've learned when I worked in a hot rod shop painting cars and stuff and learning how to do all that stuff, you do not sand that stuff into metal or whatever, because chances are when you go to paint it, it's not going to stick good. You'll have fish eyes and so on and so forth. I'm going to shoot some paint on these things now. The wax and grease remover is dried. This is the paint I'm using. It's Rust-Oleum high heat grill paint. I've had good luck at it with the header paint, not so much. I don't know. Do everything they tell you to do to apply it. You know, start the vehicle up, let it run, bake on there, and shut it off. I've done all that, and it always flakes off with me. I've always had good luck at a header or grill paint. Well, I got the first coat of paint done on these and letting it dry, and while that's drying, I'm moving on to the next tubes here. I got these. I'm going to wax and grease remove those, and then scuff those, and wax and grease remove them again, and clean out and spray out the inside with some carburetor cleaner right there, and we'll paint those next. And once I get those ready to paint, then I'll flop these over, and we'll paint the other side of these. But I guess you guys can kind of see what I'm going to be doing for the next remainder of this hour I have to myself. So, but I'm going to call it a video. I appreciate all you subscribers, everybody viewing, watching these videos. I really appreciate all that. I'm not doing it for money, obviously, hardly. I got a little bit of AdSense. I don't make anything off of it. I'm doing this because I show you guys what I do, And I'm showing you guys a dream I've had, obviously with this buggy. But anyway, like I've been saying though, get out there and live your dream. Quit sitting around watching people live theirs. If you want to build that race car, you want to add that addition onto your house, you want to do whatever, go on that dream vacation, and you know you have the money, you know you can afford it, get out there and do it. Or if you can't afford it, do like I did on this. I saved money for 2 years to be able to do this stuff. 2 years, and I also sold some of these carts to be able to afford to do this. This is what I've always wanted to do, so I'm finally doing it. But appreciate all you guys, and like I said, follow me on Instagram if you want to, volunteer_garage1. It's volunteer_garage1. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.